Welcome, beautiful souls, to the Matrix Study Hall. I am MS Oracle, Miss Oracle. Thanks so much for tuning in. And again, thanks for liking and subscribing. Y'all do me a favor and go in my description box and click on the link to my other channel, my sister channel, Lotus of Judah, 1111 Ministry International. It has spiritual messages, a lot of prophetic things on there too. So be sure to go and support your girl over there as well. I really appreciate it. So without further ado, I want to get into this article from CNBC. It's in the health and science section, and this is in regard to RFK Jr., Robert Kennedy Jr., okay, and how he has been appointed as the nation's new top health official, and how they're thinking that this could further erode falling U.S. vax rates. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this to the surface is because a lot of things that are put out in the forefront as if it is something that we should be doing or shouldn't be doing, literally when it comes to the mainstream, when it comes to mainstream, when it comes to the GOVT, if they're saying to go right, definitely it's best to go left. And so as he is put in a position for the Department of Health and Human Services, the DHHS, he is appointed as the top health official, right? He has a strong stance against immunizations, against vax. And people are thinking that they should do the opposite. They're thinking that, well, no, we need them. But what we have to realize is that he is the premier in regarding to these immunizations, because he was one of the very first people to speak out publicly. They had a very prominent position in regarding to how these were strategic hits on particular communities, especially when it comes to melanated males in particular, and how these concoctions were created specifically to target and to disseminate those that represent the demographic of melanated males. And so even as of recently, he was being interviewed in Congress or something to that effect, and he mentioned that, and they kind of hushed him really quick. They didn't want him to talk. So it is very interesting that he is a proponent against utilizing holistic measures opposed to jabs or those concoctions. But people are thinking that they should do the opposite. People are having the reverse response and thinking that, no, we need them. But I'm going to read a few comments. Before I get into the comments, I just want to say that we have to not be naive about the type of government that we have. And this is not just in regarding to the U.S., this is regarding to the world in general. There's a lot of things that are being forced on us, and some things are being soft launched. Like they'll soft launch a particular concoction, or utilize fear to corral people into taking certain things. But oftentimes it is leading to not only debilitating illnesses, developmental delays, a whole host of issues and illnesses and disabilities where it doesn't even have to be that way. This is about control, and this is also a demonic agenda to destroy. And it's literally a covert attack. I am sharing this because as somebody that is a mother of a child that is on the spectrum, and I think both of my sons are sort of on the spectrum, but my oldest was definitely impacted more so. But early on, I always felt a little uneasy about the VAX scheduling. But when you are a first-time mom, oftentimes it's like you're trusting the doctors, you're trusting the medical industry, and oftentimes you are put in positions where it's just like, okay, they are the professionals, I'm going to trust what they say. And a lot of times it's a lie. A lot of times it is going to impact your child or you in a very devastating way, because for the name of science, for the name of the medical industry, they're doing all kind of concoctions, they're doing trials and studies, and sometimes it is not necessarily to further science, it is a deliberate attack to destroy or to shut down the neurological development of the recipients, in particular when it comes to marginalized communities, the majority of melanated males in particular, as well as I know it affects the females, but their aim is at the male. And so I had to, after seeing the regression within my son when he was maybe about 4, I had to be very proactive, and I had to realize that, okay, I can't really trust what these doctors, these physicians are saying. So I had to go through a deep dive and figure out, okay, how can I detox my son from these toxic metals or things that were in these concoctions. And honestly, I I had a lot of pushback. I didn't have any type of recourse or anybody to kind of guide me. I had to kind of go it on my own. And thanks for the grace of God, my son actually healed so much to the point where he wants to be so independent now. I mean, he's 20 years old now, but he wants to be so independent. Like, he drinks a lot of water, which I highly suggest. Even now, he still chooses to be more of a health conscious person, and I attribute all of that to his progression, because they gave me very horrible prognosis. They would say that, oh, he's never going to be able to do this, he's never going to be able to do that. And I'm grateful that I had faith, that I believed in him, I believed in the power of the Most High, and I actually followed my own holistic protocol, in regarding to detoxing him and chelating him. And I mean, I would even have certain peers or staff members at different schools wondering, like, what did you do? What did you do to reduce his symptoms of autism? And yeah, and not only about the detoxing regarding to being careful of things that he will consume, but also supplementing him with really good vitamins and minerals, fish oils, what else, magnesium, different things like that. I had to be very consistent, I had to be very patient, but he's to the point where, I mean, it's as if he doesn't even have autism at all. There's a few, subtle social things, but in general, he is very high functioning. He's improved a lot, and also, he's to the point where he's literally reminding me, like, Mom, I'm not a kid anymore. So it's just like a beautiful experience. But I want to share a few notes in regarding to this, and it says that making children sick and or pass away is not American. Why would anyone want to do this? Also, it says, let's see, KR says people were skeptical of VAXs before Kennedy. I worked for doctors who would not allow their children to be vaxxed. Also, it said, and unfortunately, the kids suffer because of their parents' ignorance. KR also said theirs were just fine. Hope Springs Eternal says, yes, ignorance existed before Kennedy's vax skepticism. Kennedy is attempting to validate their ignorance. Also, let's go to Michael Meyer says, lots of sheeps in the comments, protect Big Pharma at all costs. Stupid is as stupid does. Jenny Ucida says, isn't it so convenient that now that they are arguing with him, there's a measles outbreak? I don't know. There are some things that are very suspicious lately, like the price of eggs, bird flu only for farm chickens, but not for wild animals. All right, let's go to a few more. Also, River Road Pine says Kennedy promotes freedom of choice when it comes to facts. Unlike the last administration, regardless of how many times the mainstream media starts, Kennedy is getting rid of facts. It doesn't make it true. To Linda Lund responds, some religions don't believe in facts at all, but then they are the ones that usually don't have much communication with the public. Good point. For Sirius, it says RFK and anti-vaxxers are proving every day that Fauci was right. Then we go to Andrew S. says, hey, do you do what you want? It's your kid, but if they pass away from something preventable, just understand that it's your fault and you have to live with that. Also, it says, Joey, that's on the parents, so quit blaming him. They are the ones to blame for these outbreaks. Paul Miskel says, understand he cannot stop vax, but he can deter the vax requirements to attend school. And also, I want to share Michael Myers said rates are falling because of the lies now being detected. So that's all I have for now. Y'all draw your own conclusions. Until next time, y'all. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.